Hello everyone. We are going to deal with another exciting discussion about another topic in geometry. But before that, let's have this sample meme about the topic. So perhaps you're all aware it is true that each of my clients is wrong by your upright standards, and yet I intend to prove here today that these two so-called wrongs really do make a right. So this is an example, okay? So this illustration is an application of angles. So we are going to deal now with its measurement. So we have here two 90 degrees, 90 degrees, then we have 48 degrees and 42 degrees. So what do you think will be the relationship of this conversation or this meme to our topic for today? So we are going to deal with kinds of angles and angle relationships. So for this day, we are going to have to determine and illustrate the kinds of angle. We're going to identify the angle relationships, and we are going to determine the measurement of the angle. So classification of angles according to their measure. So first we have the acute angle. The second one is the obtuse angle, and the third one is the right angle. Okay, so let's start with this one. Which angles are not acute? First, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if we're going to have that one, so how are we going to define acute angles? So remember that acute angles are angles that measures below 90 degrees. Okay, so its measure is below 90 degrees, meaning 89 and up to 1 degree. So those are acute angles. Okay, next. So which angle is a right angle? So which angle is a right angle? So you are correct if your answer is number 2. Wow! How are we going to define a right angle? So what is the measure of a right angle? Remember that the measure of the right angle is always 90 degrees. Okay? Next. Which angle is an obtuse angle? So if we're going to look at the obtuse angle, so which angle is an obtuse? And that is number 5. So how are we going to define obtuse angle? Obtuse or obtuse angle? So here we have, if we have acute, we have right as 90 degrees and acute below 90. So in obtuse or obtuse angle, we have above 90 degrees. Okay, so an angle that measures above 90 degrees but not greater than 180 degrees. Okay, so angle relationships. So we have here angle pairs. So two angles which are related to each other by sums or by structure are known as angle pairs. So angle pairs, two angles which are related to each other by sums of measure. So we have the complementary angles and the supplementary angles. So what are complementary angles? So complementary angles, if you are going to look at the illustration, so if we're going to add the two angles, the measure is 90 degrees. So if the sum of two angles is 90 degrees, then they are called complementary angles. So angle ABC and angle DEF are complementary because the sum of their measures, okay, is 90 degrees. So proof, measure of angle ABC plus measure of angle DEF is equal to 90 degrees. So 60 degrees plus 30 degrees is equal to 90 degrees. Next, how about supplementary angles? If you're going to look at the illustration, so what do you think is the sum of their angles? Okay, so you are correct. So if the sum of two angles is 180 degrees, then they are called supplementary angles. So angle PQR and angle ABC are supplementary because the measure of angle PQR plus the measure of angle ABC is equal to 180 degrees. So 100 degree plus 80 degrees is equal to 180 degrees. Is that clear? Okay, next. So determine the complement and supplement of the following angles. Let's have the first one. First, 48 degrees. So its complement is 42 degrees. So we are just going, if we're going to get a complement, we're going to think of a number. If we're going to add it by 48, the answer is 90. Or simply 90 minus 48. So the answer is 42 degrees. For the supplement, we are going to subtract 180 minus 48 degrees, and that is the supplement angle of 48 degrees, which is 132 degrees. Next, we have 59 degrees, okay, 24 degrees, 72 degrees, and 121 degrees. So the complement of 59 degrees is 31 degrees, and for 24 degrees, we have 66 degrees. For the 72 degrees, we have 18 degrees, and for 121 degrees, so not complementary, okay? Because the measure of one angle is already greater than 90 degrees. So there, the possibility is we have the supplement angle for that. Okay, so the supplement for 59 is 121 degrees, for 24 degrees is 156 degrees, for 72 degrees it's 108 degrees, and for 121 degrees that's for 59 degrees. Okay, clear? For the supplementary and complementary angles. Okay, next. So angle pairs, two angles which are related to each other by position or structure. Before we have it by measure. Now we are going to deal with position or structure. We have the adjacent angles, we have the linear pairs, and the third one is we are going to deal with vertical angles. So let's proceed. How about the adjacent angles? So two angles that have common vertex and a common ray are called adjacent angles. So again, with common vertex and with common ray. So say for instance, we have this one. So ang common vertex is point B, while the common ray is ray BD. So what are the two adjacent angles? So we have the adjacent angles are angle ABD and angle DBC. So the common vertex is B and the common ray is BD. Okay? So adjacent angles do not overlap each other. So remember that. They are just beside each other. Next. So how about this one? So angle ABC and angle DEF are not adjacent angles because they have different vertex, which is vertex B and vertex E, and also they do not have common ray. Okay? Okay. Next, how about the linear pair of angles? So two adjacent supplementary angles are called linear pair of angles. So we have here, so 60 degrees, 120 degrees. So adjacent angles is CPA and also APD. So getting the sum of the two, we have come up with 180 degrees and it forms line. So that's the reason why it is known to be linear pair of angles. So it forms like this one. This is the line formed by two adjacent supplementary angles. Okay? Okay. So 60 degrees plus 120 degrees is equal to 180 degrees. Next. Okay, so let's proceed with the supplement postulate. So if two angles form a linear pair, then they are supplementary. Remember that. So let's have this illustration. So we have here angle, okay? So angle SHN, HN, and angle EHN. So they are two adjacent supplementary angle that form a linear pair. So meaning if they form a linear pair, then by supplement postulate, the measure or the sum of their measure is equal to 180 degrees, which is supplementary. Okay? Okay, next. The next one is the vertical angles. So vertical angles are two angles whose side form two opposite rays. So we have here this angle. Okay, so we have two angles here, the opposite angles. So we have angle APC and angle BPD. So four angles are formed at the point of intersection, similar to angle CPD and angle APD, wherein the point of intersection of the two line is point P. So we have four angles for the vertical angles. Okay? Okay, and vertical angles are congruent. So that is according to vertical angle theorem. So angle APC is congruent to angle BPD, and angle APB is congruent to angle CPD. So that's the concept of vertical angles. So let's recall the definition of the following. We have the complementary angles, the supplementary angles, adjacent angles, linear pair, vertical angles. Okay, so identify what kind of angles are illustrated. First, angle A and angle B, they are, okay, vertical angles, correct. Next, how about this? With a measure of 60 degrees and 120 degrees, so they are supplementary angles. The next one, we have, we're going to add, we have going to consider angle A and angle B, so they are complementary angles because they form a right angle. Next, how about this one? Okay, so what do you think? Okay, so they are adjacent angles. They have the same vertex or common vertex and the common ray. So how about this? AB, angle AB, they form what? Okay, they are linear pair because they form a line. Next, how about this one? We're going to consider the measure of the angles. So they are supplementary angles. The next one is adjacent angle. Next is form a complementary angles because they form a right angle. And for this one, we have the vertical angles. This, we have the linear pair because it forms a line. And this one, AB, so we have adjacent angles. So find the measure of angle B. So if they form a linear pair or if they are a linear pair, then the sum of or the measure of angle B must be equal to 130 degrees. Why? We're just going to subtract 180 by 50 to get the angle measure of angle B. Next, so this is 43 degrees by vertical angle theorem because angle A and angle B are vertical angles. Next one. Okay, how about this one? It forms a right angle. So we are just going to subtract 90 minus 63. So the answer is 27 degrees. So this is 90, okay, minus 63. So that's the reason why we have 27 degrees. So this is supported by complementary angles. Okay, next. How about this one? So it forms what? It forms a line, tama? Linear pair. So this is a linear pair. So if the measure is 49 degrees, we know that the linear pair, the sum of the measures of the angle must be equal to 180 degrees. So we are going to have 180, okay, 180 minus 49 degrees. And the answer is what? So the answer is 131 degrees. So don't forget to write the unit of measure, which is degrees. Okay? Next, so write an equation and solve for the value of x. How about this? So what is the supported theorem? Okay, that will give us, or that will let us find the answer. So this is the vertical angle theorem because they are vertical angles, and vertical angles are congruent, correct? So that is 5x, okay? So 5x minus 22, okay, is equal to 3x plus 16. So if we are going to deal with this one, so again, we are going to have the transposition. So combining like terms, so we have 5x minus 3x because we're going to change the position. So that will be positive. So lilipat, so that will be negative. Is equal to 16. Okay, then we have there plus 22. So the answer will be 2x is equal to, okay, 2x is equal to 38. Dividing both sides by 2, so x equals 19, right? Okay, so that is 19. So let's see. Next. So how about the next one? Write an equation and solve for the value of x. So again, so this is supported by complementary angles. So complementary angles, the sum of their measures is equal to 90 degrees. So we have x plus 28 plus 6x minus 15 is equal to, sum is 90, right? Okay, so combining like terms, we have 7x is equal to 90. Okay, then we are going to subtract. We are going to have 28 minus 15. That is 13. So 13 transpose 8 minus 13. So we have 7x is equal to 77, dividing both sides by 7. So the answer is x equals 11. Okay, Questions po? So if we want to check if our value of x is correct, we're just going to substitute it to our x, okay? And if the sum of their measures is 90, then definitely we have the correct answer. Okay, questions? None? Okay, next, let's proceed. So how about this one? So what is now the relationship of these two? So it forms, okay, a line or a linear pair. So definitely the sum of the measure is 180 degrees. So supplementary sila. So we have 9x, okay, minus 4 plus 4x minus 11 is equal to 180 degrees. Okay, so we have combining like terms. We have 9 plus 4 is 13x is equal to 180. Then we're going to perform the operation sa left. We have negative 4 minus 11 is negative 15. Then by transposition, that will be plus 15. Okay, so we have 13x is equal to 195. So getting or dividing both sides by 13. So the answer is equal to 15. Tama? So 13 times 15 is 195. Questions? None? Okay. So, substituting it to our value of to our x in 9x minus 4 plus 4 times 15 minus 11, the answer must be equal to 180 degrees. Okay? Now next, find the value of x here. So, this is vertical angle theorem. Tama? So, they are vertical angles. So, and the sum of their measures I equal. So, 2 plus 3x is equal to 62. Okay? So this is 62. So that is 3x. By transposition, we're going to have 3x equals 60. So x is equal to dividing both sides by 3. So x equals 20. Okay, so I think we have the correct answer. Okay. Okay, so let's have the last one. So determine the measurement of the angles. So we have 30 degrees, 60 degrees. So what do you think will be the other degree measure? So we have here, so that is if they form a 90-degree angle, so this must be 30 degrees. So for this one, because that is a vertical angle to 30 degrees, so this must be 30 degrees. And for this one, because it formed a linear pair with 30 degrees, so the answer must be 150 degrees. So I think we have learned so much for today. So that's all, and thank you.